In an era when women were not allowed in universities, she found a way to study. When the world dismissed her as unqualified, she outwitted the greatest mathematicians of her time. And when a centuries-old mathematical puzzle stood unsolved, she unlocked a key that would lead to its eventual proof. This is the story of Sophie Germain, the woman who defied the odds to change mathematics forever. Sophie Germain was born in 1776 in Paris, at a time when women were expected to pursue art or domestic life, not mathematics. But when she read about the death of Archimedes, who was so engrossed in his calculations that he ignored an invading soldier, she became fascinated. If math was powerful enough to make someone forget the world around them, she had to understand it. Denied formal education, Sophie taught herself mathematics, studying books from her father's library. By the time she was a teenager, she was solving problems that had stumped even the best minds of her time. When the prestigious École Polytechnique opened in 1794, Sophie was barred from attending, because she was a woman. But she refused to accept this. She obtained lecture notes in secret and began submitting papers under a male pseudonym, Monsieur Antoine-August LeBlanc. Her solutions were so impressive that they caught the attention of Lagrange himself, who asked to meet the brilliant student. When he discovered LeBlanc was actually a woman, he did something extraordinary: he became her mentor. But Sophie Germain wasn't just interested in solving classroom problems. She wanted to tackle one of the greatest unsolved questions in mathematics, Fermat's last theorem. This problem had stood for over 150 years without a solution. And while she didn't prove it entirely, she made a breakthrough that no one else had. She developed what is now called Sophie Germain's theorem, which laid the groundwork for mathematicians centuries later. When Fermat's last theorem was finally proven by Andrew Wiles in 1994, her work was cited as a crucial stepping stone. But Germain didn't stop at number theory. She was the first woman to win a prize from the French Academy of Sciences for her work on elasticity, the study of how materials stretch and deform. Her research became essential to modern engineering, influencing the design of bridges, buildings, and even modern material science. Every time we build something to withstand pressure, we use principles that Sophie Germain helped establish. Even Carl Friedrich Gauss, the prince of mathematicians, recognized her genius. When he discovered that the anonymous mathematician writing to him was a woman, he was astonished, calling her mind one of the rarest of all. Despite her achievements, she was never given an official position in the mathematical community. She worked without a university, without recognition, and often without support. But she never stopped. Sophie Germain's name may not be as famous as some of her male contemporaries, but her influence is everywhere. Her work in number theory is still studied today. Her discoveries in elasticity shape the world around us. And her courage paved the way for women in science and mathematics. And in her honor, an entire class of prime numbers, Sophie Germain primes, was named after her. A fitting tribute to a woman whose love for numbers could not be silenced. Sophie Germain was more than a mathematician, she was a rebel, a pioneer, and a visionary. She saw beauty in numbers when the world refused to see her. And though history tried to keep her in the shadows, her legacy shines on, written in the very fabric of mathematics itself.